Hello everyone, my name is Heather G and I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this, my first video. As the title suggests, I will be talking about how or why I left Jehovah's Witnesses after 25 years, how I went about doing it. But first I'd like to talk a little bit about my waking up and what led to me doing this channel. So, I left Jehovah's Witnesses because of not believing things in the Bible. I mean, we're taught that the Bible is 100% accurate, and if there's things in it that you don't believe anymore, then it's all. I'm not one of those people that say, oh, well, it's an old book, and then I'm going to pick and choose what I want. I mean, murder's off the table, of course, because morally, you wouldn't want to do that. I'm like, my opinion is if you're going to believe the Bible, you should believe it all the way. Just my opinion. You don't have to like it. Because it's supposed to be God's word, no matter what the year. So I didn't believe. And when I left, I just left because of that. Now, when I told my mother-in-law, she was like, oh, it's a cult anyways. And I'm like, oh, no, it's not. But I did go to Google. I did go to YouTube and was checking things out. And I started to wake up. And the videos I watched were amazing. I just want to recommend Harrison Coulter. He has The Truth Hurts. It's an amazing video. He does his homework on both the JW organization and also the Bible. If you have not seen The Truth Hurts, go for it. Kim Mikey, they deal more with the information coming from JW, the lies that come. Cult to Consciousness, I don't remember the host's name, but she's good too. And I bring her up because when I left, as I woke up, I became very, very angry. And who was I angry at? Was I angry at the organization or was I angry at myself? I was pissed. I was so angry at myself. How could I have been duped? How? My ego took a huge hit. I mean, like, I'm smart. I'm street smart. I am, because I wasn't always a witness. Yeah. How did I get sucked in? Why? There's no way. And so your ego takes a hit. And I was very upset. I missed out on all the holidays with my kids. They're adults now, and it's weird when I do birthdays and stuff. This is the first Christmas I've gone all out and bought, a bunch of presents, wrapped it up, went into debt because it is about me, but I want them to have that experience, even though they're adults. For how long, I don't know. So yeah, I was deeply hurt. But, watching YouTube, the one thing I noticed is that when it comes to Darwinism, atheism, religion, high control religions, cults, so on and so forth, it is very much male dominated. Not a problem, right? They have something to say. It's good. Well, some of it's good. Yeah. So some of it's good, and but there's very few women on YouTube. And I think it's important that we have more women on. So if you're looking and you're a woman, you may want to go in and do a YouTube channel. The reason I say that is because women and men remember things differently, view things differently, and what's important to a man is not important to a woman, and vice versa. And I think that unique point of view on both ends should be represented, and we just don't have a lot of females on there. And what females, I should say ladies, sorry, not females, what women we have, there's just very few of them that actually have a channel. There's quite a few of stories, which I've watched, but there are very few channels out there. And then some of the ones I've watched, I'm like, why are you saying anything about Jehovah's Witnesses? Because you're talking about something else. So we definitely need more women on YouTube. That's my little spiel. But no, that's what I do feel, I think that women have a valid place So I woke up and yeah, still pissed, but I'm doing a lot better. So let's get to the 25, or my story. I have to go at the beginning, and the beginning begins with a lie. Okay. I need a little drink of coffee. So a man comes to the door. He's a wonderful person. And he comes to the door and he offers a Bible study. Now at that time, my sister was staying with us. And we kind of looked at each other, and I'm like, I was a little interested. Had I known it would have led to this, I would slam the door in his face. So we both started studying with him, and I did like what I was learning, because I've always felt, and I know some of you don't, is that, like I said, they follow their Bible 100%. Now I did ask, is there any other Bibles that you consider accurate? And they're like, oh, the King James Bible. So, yeah. So I studied, and my sister moved out. Like I said, she moved out. She went to another religion, and that's fine. That's her choice. But I liked what I learned. It kind of made me superior, because other people didn't know that. So during this time, I got pregnant. And this is relevant. My son was full term and he was stillborn. So I wanted to see him again. But he was stillborn. And I was told that, he has a resurrection hope. And yeah. So that's what got me through the door. Okay. But here's the lie. And I'm not going to bring up the scriptures, but I want you to go to jw.org, and you can go to other, I haven't gone anywhere else, but this is on jw.org. And I will read this because I don't have the fancy software to put it up. Go put in stillbirth, and there's others but they just use there's others that go into more detail but say the same thing. This is Questions from the Reader, 1969. So basically it says a child outside the womb existed as a separate person, so they'll be remembered. But a soul never lived as a separate person if the child was inside. So this is very interesting to me, because first of all, I was lied to. But, and if you go to JW, there's scriptures there you can look. So I didn't think about it until I read this. So if a person never is not a person, is not a soul inside you, what is it? What is my son? Is he a part of me? Is he nothing? And this, quite honestly, and I'm not saying what side I'm on, the pro-choice people could use. Okay? Because so many people that believe in the Bible are don't believe in abortion. So here in the Bible, the pro-choice people could use this, because it says the soul never lived. It's not anything. It doesn't say the soul is part of anyone. I know I'm going on a diatribe, but this is just like, to me, I'm like kind of shocked. And like I said, I'm not going to say what side I am on or anything like that. I'm not trying to do one side or the other. So no fight, don't talk. If you want to give me another point of view, go for it. I'm fine with that. But I was lied. That was a lie. I came into the truth because I wanted to see my son again. Now, for those of you who, I was just wanted to say at the time, for those of you who have lost someone, particularly a child, and that child could be older, whatever, you think you know what pain is. You think you have, a lot of people just think, oh, it would be horrible. That's the extent of it. No. You can't imagine the pain, the emotional pain. It can affect your physical body. It's just devastating on a level that you just can't imagine. And so, of course, I wanted my son to live again. I wanted him to come meet me and see, my family. So, of course, I went and studied and got off the fence, as it were, because I was like sitting on that fence. And so I got baptized. But this is what's interesting. Before I was baptized, they have questions to ask you. And, I joined only believing the Bible and God existing like 50%. I believe the witnesses, they believed what they were hearing like 80%. I mean, it's important because other people were doing things they shouldn't have been. They were not the all perfect, things. But what I want to say is I realized something. If you are not believing, you only believe part way. Even if you believe most and you want more faith, you don't believe. Right? This is the way I feel. You really don't believe. Because you can't believe part of it. If you can't buy the other part, then you can't buy any of it. I thought that if I became a witness that the witnesses will, shake their little magic faith dust on me and I would become stronger in the faith. No, I was sucking on that teat, as it were, drinking that milk the entire time I was a witness. That's a scripture. You want to eat real food as you progress as a witness, Christian, whatever. But I never did, and yet I stayed for 25 years. So I get baptized, and at first I was really into the Watchtower and studying. I read all the magazines, and then I did end up having more children. You get distracted by that, but I still brought them to the meetings. Still didn't believe anymore. Still wanted to see my son. So slowly I began to drift away. And I don't know why it took so long. I guess it just takes the waking up. I will say, this is a little off, but the reason I believe I joined the witnesses and stayed in, one of the reasons why is it's scary to think that there's really nothing out there. I know some people believe in an entity or, turn to another religion. That's fine, or became Christians. But for me, I think people just don't want that to be it. They don't want there to be nothing, as it were. I think that was a large part of why I stayed, is because I wanted there. But wanting something will never make it so. Okay. I'm an atheist right now. I would love to become an agnostic, but I'm not there yet. So, and yes, the switch happened very fast. I was surprised. And I'm accepting of it. It doesn't bother me. It would have bothered me when I was younger, that this is it. And I accept it. If I die tomorrow, I die. If I'm not, if I go to another place, great. But I digress. As we go along, the pandemic happens. And, we all went to Zoom. And, while we're doing it, I'm slowly not commenting, and we're missing meetings. And, so, we're doing what do we want when we're not dressing up. They say, dress up. We're not doing that. But during this time, I noticed more and more people were not there. There was an elder's wife. She wasn't there anymore. There was a family that wasn't there anymore. That were, was related to the brother I studied with. And so I was kind of, what's going on here? So we're sitting there one day and I'm kind of half paying attention and I hear something. And I'm like, bullshit. That was my response. I will say this, by the way, I've been doing really good. I do have a pretty significant potty mouth. I had a really bad one before I came into the truth, but it's come back a little. Yeah, BS. Impossible. And that was about the 6,000 years. Never mind Noah. Okay, there are so many reasons I'm not going to get into why that's impossible. But I'm like, no. I went and Googled it. Do witnesses really believe this? Do Christians believe this? Oh, yeah. They believe one of two things. They believe that the earth and man are 6,000 years. There's nothing in the Bible that would justify that. People would be dying left and right. Or the earth is old and man existed for 6,000 years. There is statistically no way that you could go from two people to 8 billion plus in 6,000 years. Never mind Noah. So all those people before died. So I keep getting this mixed up. And I should have looked it up. So it was either 4,300 years after Adam and Eve or 4,700 or no, 1,300 or 1,700 after Noah or after Adam and Eve. You can post below if you can tell me. So now we went from all the people dying to back to 4 or 8 people, 4 couples that are all related to each other. Yeah. And all look alike. That's important. I'll be doing a video on that later on. So I'm just stuck on the 6,000 years. And I'm like, oh, there's just no way. And one thing I will say about the 6,000 years is it was mentioned. I know it was mentioned before once. And I even then I thought, but I just kind of ignored it. Why? If I'm supposed to believe, I'm just saying I'm lazy, I think. I just didn't want to deal with it. Because I was going through the motions, but why? Anyways, so I went and talked to a sister who had been in the truth for a long time. She couldn't answer me, right? I mentioned it to a friend who's a Christian. She didn't believe me. And is this not like the foundation of man? We are supposed to have come from 2 people and you don't even know? Why? Because it's very rarely mentioned, because we would know it for what it is. We would say, Bulla. You would, if they mention it often enough, people are going to say, oh, that doesn't make sense. Let me do some research, right? But they don't mention it. I don't understand how they can't mention everything in the Bible. I guess it just doesn't agree with their agenda. But yeah, so after talking to them and talking to my sister, who is an atheist, and just talking about how I felt, and she really helped me realize that if this is all it is, then that's all it is. Hi, Jess. She's my birthday twin. Love her to death. Love all my family. Anyway, so contact the elders and said I wanted a meeting via Zoom yet again. And the question about the 6,000 years led me to, what does the Bible say about being in different colors? I mean, we're all significant. You're pale. We have albinos, all the way to very, very dark. I mean, we have the rainbow of colors. How? How did this happen? Why do they fit the environment that they're native from? I mean, if you took a person from a Scandinavian country and put them in Africa, they would probably die of cancer, skin cancer, like back in the day. So I was just like, I want to know how they're going to answer this. And I was shocked, okay, because of how they answered it. When I mentioned the 6,000 years, okay, this is an elder. This is what I got. Now, normally, they will get in their scriptures and read a scripture or two, yeah? I got, do I believe in the Bible? And do I believe in Adam and Eve? That's what I got. And I'm like, okay, you're going out in the ministry, and you go up to someone that, let's say they're an agnostic, and you say, look at this book. This book is fantastic. It talks about man. It tells us where we came from. And do you know, we've been on the earth for 6,000 years and we came from two people. Isn't that amazing? This book is the truth. You must believe it. That's essentially what he was saying to me. And I'm like, I was shocked. I'm like, this is from an elder? But I will say this is the reason why he did it. He thought he could get away with it because the elders are supposed to be a step above us. They're appointed. And a lot of times they'll say stuff and people will just believe it. This is one caution I have for you all is when you're at the meeting or at your church and someone says, well, we don't know, but no. Just stop at that we don't know. Because what happens is when they say but and they give an answer, a lot of people will just take it in as if it's true. So I caution you if you hear that in your church or whatever. So now let's get to the next two questions, which I will say they were not answered at all. I get this. Well, there's a study. I wondered if the study didn't exist, what he would have said. There's this study, and it shows that the Aborigines came from one group of people. Yeah, I'm sure that they could do studies all over the world and find that out. I mean, they all traveled back in the day. They traveled with their family, their friends, their tribe. I'm sure the tribe a lot of times were all related. Of course they traveled. How did they get to Australia? By land bridges. There was not boats back then to get over there. That is not an answer. And he did not answer that these were of African descent, of course. And that's what I got. And I'm like, what are you, 8? I mean, this would be a child's explanation. This is not two elders' explanation. The study addressed nothing. It addressed nothing. And I didn't call him on it. I just left it at that. But I did tell him, it's like, yeah, I said, I got a cover-up tattoo. Is that going to be an issue? And they're like, no. They were relieved when I said that. Like, oof, we dodged a bullet. No, they did not. I ended up texting them the next morning. I want to leave. Would you please tell me how to get my name off the rolls? And they're like, contact the governing body of elders and tell them why or whatever. And I did do that, of course, with explanations and why. So that's my story about leaving. I hope that some of you can get something valuable out of it. Like I said, I'll be doing more videos. And some of them will get pretty serious. Just letting you know. But I'm hoping you like the video. I would like for you to subscribe, to like, and yes, I will be doing more. And some of them will be fun and some of them will be not so fun. But I have a question for you. I'm hoping to do this with every video. When you left, these are for those that have left. What was the first inappropriate movie that you watched? Right? Was it, fantasy, sexual, or whatever? Mine was, of course, The Lord of the Rings. Oh, yeah. That is, amazing. For me, far better than the book. I'm sure people will argue. Lord of the Rings. I was so happy. And I am happily watching all sorts of spiritistic, violent movies. Oh, yeah. So, my conscience is clear. It's the clearest it's been in 25 years. So I want to thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you again.